put the country under the supreme leadership of Khomeini and then his successors, which continues to this day. After the fall of the Ottoman Empire, the French and the British divided the previously Ottoman Middle East among themselves. Britain controlled Palestine, the Transjordan, and Iraq, while France controlled Lebanon and Syria. During the war, this land had been promised to the Hashemites, descendants of the Prophet Muhammad, so they could create an Arab state. In return, the Hashemites had revolted against the Ottomans and had been one of the final nails in the empire's coffin. However, in a plot twist that I'm sure everybody saw coming, the Europeans had no plans to let such an Arab state come into existence. The British secured Palestine as a refuge for Jewish immigration from Europe and other Middle Eastern countries, which had begun under the Ottomans already, and established puppet monarchies in Iraq and Transjordan under the Hashemites. While a military coup ended the Hashemite kingdom of Iraq, the kingdom of Jordan still exists under the very same dynasty. Although the Hashemites had initially been open to the establishment of a Jewish state after World War I, this had been contingent on the creation of their own united Arab state. With that door closed, neighboring Arab states united to defeat Israel during the First Arab-Israeli War, which of course the Israelis called the War of Independence. I guess the War of Colonization was too on the nose. When the Arabs failed, and most especially when Israel agreed to assist Britain and France in the Suez Crisis, it hastened the rise of an Arab nationalist bloc dominated by Egypt. However, repeated Israeli victories against its neighbors led to the decline of Pan-Arabism. Egypt and Jordan later made peace with Israel, while shifting alliances in the Cold War and resurgence of Islamist politics around the region, especially in the wake of the Iranian Revolution, quickly transformed the conflict from a nationalist cause to a more religious cause. With Israel occupying Palestinian lands, the state of Palestine shrunk to only the Gaza Strip and parts of the West Bank, and the conflict, if you can call it that, between the two countries doesn't seem any closer to a resolution, even though more and more Muslim countries are starting to build diplomatic ties with Israel. From the 16th century onwards, Western Arabia, which houses the holy cities of Mecca and Medina, fell under Ottoman authority. The control of the Sultan back in Constantinople over this region was subject to its own fluctuating central authority. At various stages, local forces would rise up and establish their own states. One of these was established by the Al Saud dynasty, which still governs Saudi Arabia to this day. The emergence of the Saudi state was underpinned by a pact made between the Saudi family and the religious leader Muhammad ibn Wahhab, founder of Wahhabism in the mid-18th century. In 1938, oil was discovered there, allowing the Saudis to become immensely wealthy and secure the means for the eventual modernization of their country. Along with Saudis, other smaller states appeared along the eastern coast of Arabia, which are known as the Gulf states. Due to their strategic location across the Indian Ocean, they were vital for trade and hence came under European influence. Eventually, however, they became independent, and their discovery and subsequent exporting of black liquid gold, or oil, allowed these small states to maintain their sovereignty and modernize at a faster rate than most of their other Muslim counterparts. Egypt hadn't been independent since the Mamluks lost it to the Ottomans in the 1510s. From then to the 19th century, the region of Egypt was under the Ottomans until Napoleon invaded in 1798. The British helped defend it, and it fell into the control of Muhammad Ali Pasha, an Ottoman general and governor who carved it out for his own dynasty. Technically, the dynasty was under the control of the Ottoman Sultan, but in reality, not really. They managed to stick around through British colonial rule and the construction of the Suez Canal, which connects the Red Sea to the Mediterranean and hence shortens the trip from India to Europe by a lot. In a revolution in 1952, led by Jamal Abdel Nasser and Muhammad Najib, Egypt became independent and overthrew the Muhammad Ali dynasty. Out of it came the Republic of Egypt and the Republic of the Sudan. The Republic of Egypt remained a dictatorship until the Arab Spring of 2011. Most of North Africa, east of Morocco, had been under the control of the Ottomans since the 16th century. In 1830, the French took over what is today Algeria, and then in 1881, they took over what is today Tunisia. Libya was nominally under Ottoman control until 1911, when the Italians invaded and took over. European hegemony over North Africa ended in the 1950s, with Libya declaring independence in 1951 from both the British and the Italians, who had jointly been controlling it since the end of the Second World War. Libya was initially a kingdom under a king, but in 1959, oil was discovered there, which led to complications over who should rule. 10 years later, in 1969, the kingdom was overthrown by a military revolution led by Muammar Gaddafi. Gaddafi himself was overthrown in 2011 during the Arab Spring. Meanwhile, in Algeria, the locals had fought valiantly for independence during the Algerian Revolution, which led to the creation of the Republic of Algeria in 1962. The Republic fought a civil war with Islamist elements in the country from 1991 to 2002. The Republic of Tunisia came into existence in 1956 after it declared independence from the French. It saw only 2 presidents from then until 2011, when it actually became the first country in the Arab world to overthrow its government and inspired other Arab countries to do the same, jump-starting the Arab Spring. Portuguese success in North and West Africa back in the 16th century had led to growing discontent among the people there. Morocco came under the control of the Saudis, who fought back so successfully that they actually destroyed a great Portuguese army at the Battle of the Three Kings in 1578. This scared off foreign powers, including the Ottomans. No European power would challenge Morocco for the next 3 centuries. The great King Al-Mansur then went further and even conquered Timbuktu. Though the dynasty was internally in a bad shape, so it fell to the Alawite dynasty, who claimed descent from the Prophet. In 1911, the French invaded and declared it a formal protectorate, which remained till 1956 after the revolution of the king and the people. It remains a monarchy to this day, with the Alawites still in power. Okay, so that was a quickish recap of the story of Islam. I know I skipped over a lot of details and countries and people, but well, that's kind of the point of the video. Today, Muslims make up the 2nd largest religious group in the world. There are over 50 countries in the world that have a Muslim majority, not to mention all the countries where Muslims make up a significant minority as well. The Islamic civilization is now recovering from the impacts of colonialism. In many ways, it is still stuck in the time before colonization happened and is trying to find its way forward. This is a civilization that, of course, did not experience a reformation or enlightenment in the European sense of the words. Ideas are being discussed on how Islam can cope with life in the 21st century. The relationship between Muslims and the rest of the world isn't helped by the rampant Islamophobia that we see in today's world. Whatever the case, the story of the world's 2nd biggest religious group is indeed a fascinating one. Be sure to check out the video by Almost Wise, which covers the history of Islamic philosophy and thought in a similar manner to this video over on his channel. Leave a comment telling him that Al-Muqaddimah sent you. See you next time. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon. On the screen right now, you can see the names and tiers of the patrons. You can join them by pledging $1 or more to support the channel. Thank you for watching.